Student 2 of Boomstick Media. That's your guy Quick. This is the Drunken Man Bear over here.
Yo.
Today's going to be a quick episode. We'll cover a few topics, including a reference to my boy Quick. He's putting up a video.
It's a quick episode, baby, because I'm here. Hey.
So I'll turn it over to Quick as we get started. He'll talk about our music feature of the week and where you can find it.
Yeah, so this was a good week for not really a huge week for music. Well, I mean, it was a good week for music because we have already done I did a video. I like those once in a while reviews, things that I really like when they come out. So we did the Decca Blockhead video, the review of the two albums that had just come out, where we have Decca's Flux, which is amazing. It's an interlude album for the most part, and then it's got a couple of remixes on it. It's got that nice boom bap feel. I don't care if you think it's dead. It is not dead. It is coming back, and you know who's not going to be a part of it? Jay-Z, but we'll get onto that in a second. So, we got the Blockhead album, you know, Art of the Sample, the guy's a genius, Supernose is a genius. I sent them both the video, and I haven't gotten a response yet, but we're playing the waiting game. So, we did a America theme. We got the 4th of July coming up, so, of course, at the same time, everyone's been talking about it. The Childish Gambino and the I don't even know the other guy's name.
Jace Harley.
Jace Harley.
J-A-S-E Harley.
So what I did was, and you can see the video. I should have that up in a day or two, or at the same time this comes up. It's I'm the only one everybody's talking about. I'm the only one that put the two on the turntables, which you can actually find me at Quick405 on Twitter. That's Quick405, Quick the DJ. So I spun the two together, and we found out that they aren't just alike, they are identical songs. Almost the length is the same. The BPMs are the same. The gunshots, the harmony in the beginning, the chorus, the overuse of the word America, the slavery, the victim culture, it's all the same. And brought to the point that victim culture has become too popular these days. Too many people being the victim, and who can offend each other the most. And the most American part of it was plagiarism. There's nothing more American than plagiarism and suing people. They're both as American as it gets. It's a beautiful thing. So, on to that, we were talking about Jay-Z a second ago, Mr. Banker Extraordinaire. You know, it's not hard to believe why people think these guys are Illuminati. I mean, they do. Have you seen the what's that new video called 8sh star T? The videos they're so proud of, they're like they're like acting like they're breaking out trap music, like they're the first ones to try it. Beyonce rapping, ugh, trash. Dumpster fire, I love to use words like dumpster fire in New York, or Lake Michigan as well. We know about dumpster fires in Michigan. Anyway, so Jay-Z the banker, who likes to think that your race is the most important part of you, you know? Your race. He's trying to point out your race and how you're different and how you're a victim everywhere you go. Okay? When you're giving out loans, when you go down to Jay-Z's new bank and try to get a loan, and be sure to mention your race when you get there and see how far it gets you trying to get a small business loan from Jay-Z and Rockefeller and Puffy Combs and whoever else is part owner of this organization. You know, they want to be in this elite crew, but they don't have the bloodline. That's what's really important. That's probably why they think about race all the time, because the bloodline is what leads you to being the billionaires, trillionaires, quadrillionaires, who are so rich that money isn't even a number. So he's trying to buy his way. He's trying to be a banker. He wants you to think he cares about you. He does it. The music video is terrible. He's got this fake chain. You got her trapped singing, and there's not even any boom bap sound. You want to pretend to be hardcore New York, king of New York. I'm surprised, so cliche, I'm surprised they didn't have a picture of Notorious B.I.G. in there with all the portraits and the girls dancing around her, and every one of them has smaller breasts than her. Don't think I didn't notice. You know, she stood on the heads of those two girls until she left them behind. It was okay. They got to be in the Coachella video with her or whatever. Where they been for the last 10 years? Alright, I'm done. That's my music opinion of the week.
Just so Quick knows, Kelly Rowland went to have a semi-successful career on her own, and the other one, Michelle, I think her name was, did shows that were
stood on the heads of those two girls.
Save My Choir, which you can see on I think is E maybe or Organ, I don't know. But to tie in with his thing, he just went off on a rant. If this is something that's going to become a trend, I can't wait for the day that I see Wu-Tang Financial, because I will fucking invest.
Oh my God! There's no way! Wu-Tang Financial!
Diversify your bonds, bitch!
Motherfucker! Yes, I will call and I'll make an account with that $100. You have to have a certain account. I will be there. They can diversify. Oh man.
If Wu hears this, we're hoping.
Oh man.
Jump on that bandwagon.
You know, it's funny you say that. I just saw a Vlad interview with Method. Sorry, Method. And he was talking about how he still lives in that house. Do you remember the first interview? No, before TV, before they did the first interview, and the button didn't work on the front door. So he like sticks his head through the broken screen. He's like, "Yo, come on in!" Oh my God, that was amazing. He's like, the button don't work. You just gotta rub these two wires together for the doorbell. Still lives in that house. I don't know how much money the guy has saved up, but I'll bet it's a lot. So, in honor of them, I said, well, let's see if I did my American History report over them, so I had to remember the RZA, the Jizza, You God, RZA, Jizza, You God, Inspect the Deck, Ghostface, Method Red, ODB. It's 8. Inspect the Deck. Don't forget Inspect the Deck. It's 8, right? Okay. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. RZA, Jizza, You God, Inspect the Deck, Ghostface, and then the 3 cousins, ODB, Method Red. Boom, got them. Boom. Never forget them. They are important. I know I'm going off on New York music today, but I'll tell you why Wu-Tang is so important. And you can hear KRS-One talk about this, you know, because he isn't an original. He's not an original. He's second generation, but he remembers the originals. And I think we just seen actually. Yeah, we were watching the live video of Kendrick Lamar, and he's got all the kung fu people out, and they're all dancing, like fighting and dancing and stuff. They don't explain to you the importance of the kung fu and the hip hop. So the original hip hop, the people walking around dressed in parachute pants, and they're like they're all wanted to be kung fu stars, and I think that the fact that was becoming really popular and white people weren't really into it as much, so it was kind of like a counterculture type of thing to really, because everyone likes action videos, but I think they really resonated big with them because they started having the popular black actors started making the what were those movies called? Well, you tell me out a little bit here, man. Did you watch old kung fu movies, didn't you?
I watched them, but I wouldn't know what the genre is called that they called them. You could probably look it up real quick.
They think like funk versions of everything had a funked out version. And then you had Blackula. Movies like Blackula started coming out. You remember that movie?
No, I don't remember.
How could you have not seen Blackula? Anyway.
Sorry.
They're important to the heritage of the music. I can appreciate it. Even though I was around during the time I did American History reports, so thinking we'll talk about no, but on to the next subject. Oh, huge. Are we Utah Gun Exchange? Let's throw them in there. Throw us a UGE tube. You are my guys and girls, gals, guys and gals.
All right, UGE tube. That's where we're posted on. They're currently right now in the middle of their Freedom Tour, where they go across America and promote. Basically telling people that,
freedom of expression. They were at the Pride Parade. Very important.
You should be allowed to say what you want to say.
Live how you want to live. I think that's why they relate and parallel so well with the Pride festivals, with the LGBTQAI Silent P crew. And we were talking about their live stream. They were live streaming yesterday. We were watching it, and they were at the Pride Festival, and they were talking about how supportive the LGBT community is toward, because of course they do. Of course, freedom of expression and freedom of speech and everything resonates well with them. They're part of a culture that doesn't fit, directly in with the mainstream. So of course, when we're fed this narrative that community doesn't like equal rights, speech, and guns, it's more like the college community trying to tell them how to think, trying to tell them that no, you shouldn't like straight Christians, whatever. No, you shouldn't. You don't fit in. And it's more like them telling them how to think. So it was really nice to learn that community is actually really supportive toward people like us. We're in the same page. We're in the same crew. We can actually work together versus being separated. One other thing, one of the last things I have on my list was the Fleckis Talk. I was watching a Fleckis Talk.
Wait, real quick. We forgot to mention, check out UGE Tube's Facebook to see the tour dates for that Freedom Tour.
Yeah, so I'll actually post it. I've been trying to find out all week because we're invited. We're invited guests. But if you don't know where they're at, it's really hard to tour with them.
All right. Now, what were you saying?
I was talking about Fleckis Talks. Fleck is cool. He's kind of a troll. He's a pro-Trump guy. What he does is he goes and he asks people questions and they answer it. And if their answers are stupid, he magnifies that. And so he went to a Pride festival. It was earlier this month or last month. California, especially if you're in like the Bay Area, it's kind of every week, every day. But he starts asking them, and for the most part, you got the people who you can tell they're being fed the CNN news and they're being told that Trump hates them. And then you've got I saw a 4 foot tall, naked, except it was like wearing a Borat thing. Remember that thing that went around his groin and up his back?
Yeah.
And he's having this conversation about, no, of course we need borders, we need safety. He's a little Spanish 4 foot tall naked man talking to Fleckis about how we need a border and security. Of course he's not going to make it in the mainstream, but he's on the same page as us. It's our brother, or whatever he identifies as. So I thought, there's a way to bond with everybody, and I think that the fact that we're being pinned against each other all the time makes it impossible to bond with anyone. But we all could be on the same page. We're talking about religion. Black community for the most part is Christian, right? So what do Christians believe? They don't believe in abortion, things like that. Somehow the black community got adopted by this abortion culture. But if you talk to the grandmama, she's Christian, goes to church every Sunday, just like the conservatives. They go to church, they believe in these Christian beliefs. They have this bond of religion between the two that's broken because they're told all conservatives are racist. They're told how to think all day. And so there's just these infinite bonds you can have with people that are broken because you're told a certain thing, you're manipulated, your mind's screwed. And I think that's something that really is lost in the translation. Because we're different cultures, we have to be different. We have to identify by race, and that's another problem with Jay-Z. Is he wants to tell you how to think instead of thinking for yourself. That's why Kanye is so afraid of him killing him. Because he tells people to think of themselves. Jay-Z just tells you how to think. You should be offended. You should be mad all the time because I'm Irish. My brother's native. We both have a heritage of slavery, of being forced to move different places, being forced to work for free. We work next to the freedmen and the Chinese when we're building a railroad to build this country. And so we're not allowed to be on the same page there. We can't even bond through that because we're so separated. Very sad thing.
Being as a Native American, I get frustrated because I don't want to sound like an ignorant pinhead, but, really cared about, your heritage and your ancestors. I'm not trying to be like, it's going to come off racist, but, you have a whole country. You have a whole country, dude. You still have Africa, Native Americans. We had America. We don't have that. We have reservations now and casinos, which, I ain't mad at that,
But prior to European inhabitation, did you fight with rival tribes?
Yes, we did.
Were entire tribes wiped out by other tribes?
As far as I know, you'd actually have to. Yeah, definitely.
So
definitely.
So we can bond on the fact that we wiped out tribes in different ways for different reasons, but we still did it. You've completely destroyed cultures. We've completely destroyed. I never did. I'm from Canada. Technically, my Polish heritage came out from Canada and Ireland. You know, no blood on our hands, maybe. I don't know. Well, you know, we're forced to join the army.
Speaking of which, too, if you want to talk about Native Americans and the way they appropriate us, as ethnic-wise, the Algonquin people is what they call us. Technically, we're from Asia, according to everyone. So,
oh yeah. And according to my Facebook, I have an affinity for Asians and conservatives.
In real life.
In real life, you know, because it knows me more than I know myself.
Yeah. So, you know.
This is a deep episode. This isn't just sitting around the Cracker Barrel, you know. Whatever.
We'll call this the Quicks rant episode because I've had like 2 minutes worth of audio. But I ain't got much to say this week. You good with that?
Am I good with it? Oh, what else can we cover? What else does this week have?
I was just gonna bring up some local news. We're actually broadcasting out of Oklahoma. Yesterday, June 26th, is a big day in Oklahoma. We're a little bit behind the curve when it comes to the rest of the country, but we have this, what do they call that? Proposal 7088. It was for the legalization of medical marijuana. A lot of you people in other states would be like, we did that decades ago, but in Oklahoma it's a big thing.
Now,
and as of yesterday, it was approved that we are now allowed, well, it probably won't go into effect till like August, I think. I think that's what the timeline is. But yeah, medical marijuana is finally legal in Oklahoma.
At the same time, 2 months ago, Mary Fallon vetoed the SB 1212, which stated that you could carry a gun without having to have your concealed license because guns are an inalienable right as an American. So she vetoed that. They asked us to call. We called. And we found out that she doesn't care because she was on her last year. She sided with the women's committee of anti-guns or whatever. But one important thing with the legalization of marijuana is that if you are medically taking marijuana, it's a law. You can't carry a weapon. Okay, so if you take it for stress or whatever, some have said it's an archaic way of looking at it, how marijuana is looked at by our government still. But so just know, if you are deciding to get medical marijuana, don't try carrying a gun because you can't have both. And so, and I think that, which we're going to on another day, how that the drug culture is part of taking away rights culture because, you know, especially with other kinds of drugs, all drugs are felonies. Felony, you no longer get to vote, you no longer get to own weapons, you no longer get to really matter. It's impossible to get a job. So, with it still being federally illegal, even if it is legal in the state, it's a big chance. So, you gotta be real careful with it.
Quick little story about this, though. Never mind, for another time.
Write it down.
I'm going to.
Okay. Yeah, and that's good to close on. We get to talk about the weed, we get to talk about the guns, talk about UGE again, Utah Gun Exchange. I tried asking them, and maybe they'll listen in response to me directly, about Mitt Romney running for Senate in Utah. Mitt Romney's kind of a tool, so I'd like to see how they feel about that.
I'll just put this in the exit about what I was about to say. I'm recently moving back from Massachusetts, and it would take too long to go about the differences about how far Massachusetts is when it comes to marijuana laws. But I have some pretty wild stories I want to bring up about not just going about getting the product, but like seeing it with law enforcement. And I worked as a paramedic / firefighter for a while, and seeing the legalization and how it implements into everyday life across all spectrums, law, daily, you know, like just basic commercial life, like seeing shops pop up. It's a wild difference from where I'm at now in Oklahoma. But I'll bring that up in another episode.
Yeah, and that Cortez girl, the new mayor of New York, she's a full-blown socialist. I'm excited to see New York completely turn into California. So Bernie Sanders, I like the Steven Crowder Bernie Sanders. Healthcare is a right. So yeah, no, excited to see how that unfurls. And that's it. Cue the exit music.
Alright, join us next week for another episode of Boomstick Media. Have a great day.